Links down below to the official reveal trailer from EA on YouTube, as well as the article that goes into full detail. Here's what we need to know quickly. NHL 22 is coming out October 15th, 2021. PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One. Frostbite engine across all platforms. Austin Matthews is the cover athlete from the Toronto Maple Leafs. James Cybulski and Ray Ferraro will be on commentary. Apparently there's no cross-platform / generation. Let's take a quick look, shall we, at what it looks like on the store. So here's what's interesting in Canadian dollars. We've got the PS4 edition for $80 Canadian. For an extra $10, you can buy the PS5 edition of the game. And then for a $130, the X Factor edition, it'll include both the PS4 and the PS5 game, as well as 3-day early start. So that way you can start playing on October the 12th. I'm hoping to save up the money to be able to play with that action. Now, let's get right down to business and start reading what separates current gen versus next gen right off the bat. Kwong mentions that there's going to be on next gen better shadows, dynamic lighting on the entire ice surface, more detail for player faces, jerseys, and equipment, with every stitch visible, and enhanced particle effects on the ice. All the visual upgrades that just wasn't possible with Ignite is now coming on the Frostbite engine. Kwong said in an interview with Polygon following the presentation, referring to the engine that powered some EA Sports titles on the PS4 and Xbox One. They had pushed Ignite to the limit of what it was capable of. And now we're lighting a new fire with Frostbite. Even though Frostbite is cold, it's like ice. Never mind all that. Alright. Let's read this with dark mode enabled. 2021's an exciting year for EA Sports NHL franchise. It's making the jump to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, now powered by EA's Frostbite engine, which will deliver the biggest single-year visual upgrade to the series ever. Lead producer Clement Kwong told the media in a presentation last week. But perhaps the most important part of this generational transition is that EA isn't leaving anybody behind. When NHL 22 launches October the 15th on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, it'll offer full feature parity across all 4 versions, according to Sean Ramjagsingh, Vice President and General Manager of the NHL franchise and EA Vancouver. This is unusual for sports games. The versions of Madden, FIFA, especially NBA 2K, that launched on the new consoles last year were not the same games as their last-gen counterparts, whether they offered enhanced gameplay or just entirely new modes. Now, this is a tough needle to thread. If you just bought a shiny new console, you might actually prefer an experience that is markedly different from what you're already used to playing on your older machines. Otherwise, you might as well just run the last-gen version in backwards compatibility mode, right? But I've already talked about the differences there. It seems like EA Vancouver is aiming to deliver the best of both worlds. The current and last-gen versions of NHL 22 both run on Frostbite, which means that the PS4 and even Xbox One players will be able to enjoy many, perhaps most of the benefits that the engine transition provides. Kwong said that the game will offer a substantial upgrade on the visual front that's immediately recognizable on PS4, Xbox One, for players as well. That includes vastly improved ice with a slick reflective surface that also contains layers of depth. EA Vancouver's completely rebuilt dozens of player models to make their faces more accurate to real life, said Kwong, complete with upgraded skin and eye shading. And the use of a technique called deferred lighting allows for the integration of light sources that are authentic to each NHL arena. And then again, like I just read, of course the PS5 and Series X versions of NHL will offer a few graphical bells and whistles on top of all this. And I've just read that already. And then we go into EA Sports FIFA and Madden NFL series have made the switch to Frostbite in the previous console generation way back in 2016 for FIFA, 2017 for Madden. NHL was that red-headed stepchild nobody loved. Oh wait, NHL was one of the last current series still using Ignite. EA Sports UFC 4, which launched in 2019, was made with Ignite as well. Another change coming in NHL 22 on all platforms is a broadcast presentation refresh with new augmented reality graphics. You'll see statistics, performance comparisons, and even penalty announcements appear in colorful overlays with giant, loud lettering. EA Vancouver is designing these pop-ups to be useful and smart, so to speak. Kwong told Polygon that the objective is for the game to deliver this kind of information and context to the play that you just made, or the play you're about to make, and to do it without interrupting the flow of the action. The switch to Frostbite will pay dividends on the ice itself too, in the form of enhanced spatial awareness for players. EA said in a news release, and improvements to the game's physics system will allow for physically accurate stick interaction, but the bigger gameplay change is something for which EA Vancouver has taken a page out of Madden NFL's playbook. The introduction of Superstar X Factor abilities for 150 of the NHL's top players, integrated into exhibition games as well as the Be a Pro and franchise modes. X Factors will exist in two types: zone abilities, which are major buffs for elite game-changing talents in the league, and superstar abilities, which are less powerful, but will still distinguish the players who have them. At launch, the NHL's top 50 players will have a zone ability in NHL 22. Just one each, because the benefits are that huge, and that's what she said, that while 100 players will have superstar abilities. That joke never gets old, and I'm immature, so that's why I said it. NHL 22 developer EA Vancouver is promising facials. No, I mean that facial models for the league superstar will be much more accurate. Yeah, that looks about like him. For instance, Austin Matthews, who is the NHL 22's cover athlete, just 2 years removed from his appearance on the NHL 20 box, is blessed with a zone ability, known as Shock and Awe, which gives him exceptional shot power and accuracy when he's coming out of a deke or just made a deke. He also has 5 different superstar abilities, including Puck on a String, which acknowledges his great stick handling skills. All of that sounds really impressive, but it's worth noting that when Superstar X Factor abilities debuted on Madden NFL 20, we found that they didn't matter all that much at that time. So to hear Kwong tell it, the feature is part of an effort to expand the NHL franchise's potential player base. How do we generate excitement for those that may be casual gamers, but they're really avid hockey fans? EA is hoping that Superstar X Factors will spark discussion over which players deserve these abilities in NHL 22, considering how poorly the series' previous generational transition went. Just like what went poorly was me transitioning into that sentence. The decision to bring last-gen players along for the ride this time around seems like a smart one. And that's it. Nothing else to say. I'm hyped. I'm gonna be broke. More craft dinner for me. As always, if you liked the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. It greatly helps support the channel with the algorithm and making me a little bit more relevant in search results when people are looking shit up online. You didn't like the video? Go ahead. Go ahead, give it a thumbs down. I'll not only break it off in your ass, I'll make sure the moment the puck drops when you play the game, I invade your game. And this is what you get.
Trying to get that glove off and his hand free. And, oh, there's a right hand. Oh, down goes Beagle. Solid right hand by Aaron Ashton. He's out. He was out for a second. He's still probably out. Ashton hit him right in the jaw. Here's a good look. Wow.
But if you want to subscribe to the channel, maybe we could work something out. But if not, that's on you. For the rest of you, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. Perhaps I shall see some of you in the next video. Bye for now.